I completely think there's a valid argument for it. I don't think it's a bold claim. We can add it to the bold claim spreadsheet. Welcome back, welcome back. The insiders are back on. It's myself and Daz. We're here to light up another week for you, another episode, another banger without doubt. No further ado, I'm going to introduce the walking legend, the man, the myth that is Dazza, bro. How you doing?
Oh, good mate. And I am like legendary until I pass the floor sill of my bedroom floor.
Do you
And
go
that's
through the
when I'm
door frame?
alone. And that's when I'm alone in there. Huh? Just had a magic moment in the garage, followed by the hair pull. I got a brand new board, right? I got a
Yeah,
7.3 swallowtail quad Fipsy, which has been pulled down from my 7.7. Just trying to cover all bases. If I could, I'd have one every inch.
yeah,
From 6.6 to
7, 7.
8.6 maybe.
Yeah,
But world economics. And how many boards can you surf at once, Matt?
one.
Yep. So I'm cleaning up my garage because I'm trying to move this office back into my garage because we got a friend staying at our house for a while. And boom, I just come across the set of fins that I'd earmarked for the new board because I ordered it over 6 months ago. Took that long, as things do. And I gone, whoa, whoa, black Bradley side fins and center Eric Arakawa quads, which I've never actually had a board where I've been able to work out how if they go good because they're kind of big for a
Yeah.
quad fin. Get the board out. I'm in the garage, so it's a dim light, which isn't good for me. And I'm trying to get the fin in, can't do it. So eventually I go out on the grass. Impossible. We'll get to the don'ts later. But I had to go and find this other set of quad fins that I had that I've taken out of another board. And I'm trying it with S wings.
Yeah, yeah.
Tommy Curran use them every now and then. A good friend of mine is a developer, the creator of that, Chubby Lafitte. We'll try and get him on one time. And so I'm going to try him in this other board. So I got the other set of fins and they went in all right. But futures, man, they're hard. It's hard. Listen to me, Vince from Futures, president.
Do you want a
It's
couple of
hard to get them
tricks?
in. Oh,
Couple of
maybe
tricks.
maybe it's Euroglass's fault. But I'll say me don't now. Don't ever if you're doing a factory pickup, make sure they try a set of fins in your board before you leave. Gracie used to do that on purpose on a single fins and stuff like that as well to make sure that it fits in or there's no
Yeah.
like gammy resin.
So a little trick for you. There's two tricks to future fins. One is that you can wax the bottom of the fin if you
Yep.
wax the base of the fin. But the best trick is if you get the back in and get it like almost half in and do the grub screw up, it pushes it back and under for you a little bit and then do it out again and then pop it in. Goes in almost every single time.
There you go. But I know one out of those two.
Give that a go. The second one's not as common.
Oh, they're in, but you got to be careful with your grub screws, man,
Yeah,
because
yeah, for sure. Like we said in
if
the
you
last podcast, slow and deep.
don't don't de-thread your screws.
Right.
So snapper.
Before we go to Snapper, I want to ask you about something because I don't think the people of the podcast necessarily all see your personal Instagram post. And this week you put a story up about a surfboard. And I wanted to ask you if you could potentially basically relive the post on the poddy.
I'll try and do it quick. So, like Taylor Knox was kind of like one of my favorite surfers. So basically, I saw a board of his the other day. I went in there actually to take a picture of a Black Beauty of Tom Curran's, and then I saw the board of Taylor's, and I went, "Oh, Taylor!" And I quickly took a picture because he used to come in a fair bit, and he was really good mates with Mick Fanning, and at the end they were both Rip Curl team riders, so they'd often come in together. I think they were like best mates. And Taylor's like, I think he's either 6 months younger than me, or he's pretty close. He's pretty close, like Kelly. And so I used to talk with him a bit, and he was actually, he's really an easy guy to talk to, huh? He's not really got his head stuck up his ass, and incredible good surfer. And I just always had this like small sort of link to him, because when I had a serious back injury at 33, and I learned I had a little bit of a loose vertebra down the bottom, and I got this yoga video one time, and he was on it, man. He was on this yoga video, and I was going, what's he? He's doing yoga. And he talked about how he got this injury, and I researched it. And when he was young, he was either in a car accident or something like that, and he had to get two of his vertebrae fused together. So then obviously that was when he was 16, and you saw like the career he had. So I was like, wow. So then when he used to come in, I actually asked him about it a few times, and he was just a classic. And was, I think he was an original shareholder in this beer called St. Arches, which we had a good chat about as well. Because me and the guy Manu, who used to cut the blanks there, we were going, we're going to open up our, every second bloke, not every second guy, but blokey bloke in the world kind of thing, so I can create my own beer. And Taylor was actually in it. And then I read a few months later, he sold it for bucket, like him, not him. They all sold it. They got bought out. So he's one of those other rich dudes. And then just while I was writing that about him, I actually remembered in 2008, I think it was, Bradley invited me to this world title dinner for Kelly, and he always used to try and have him, or if it wasn't a world title dinner, he'd have a dinner at the Tantina de Playa at Bidar, which was about 5Ks from Quicksilver headquarters. It was actually called kind of Quicksilver's canteen, because he used to do a heap of commercial staff lunches, dinners there, and we went to this dinner, and I can't remember if there's this top car park overlooking the ocean, and you walk down the hill. Now, I can't remember if someone slipped me a drag of a joint, or if I just teed off on too many wines at the aperitif. But one stage I got caught sitting next to Kelly, and he was there talking, and he was kind of saying, he said this kind of story, which I didn't actually think was that like spellbinding. Kelly's probably not going to listen to him. It was just an average Joe of the Run story. And this guy and girl opposite him were just like freaking out, what do you call it? Fandumbing.
Fanboying.
Yeah, like she was just like, like out of a movie sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I saw it a bit at the factory. Like, if people saw Kelly in the factory, some people couldn't even move anymore. You know what I mean? It's just stunned, like someone got him with a stun gun and watch him. And I think that's why he used to kind of stand behind the doors and like look around and see who was in the room before he went in. So anyway, I get back to my dinner table, and I think I'm at the same table as Bradley. I know I was next to Alan Ryu as well. And they come out with this cake for Kelly for the world title. But Taylor Knox is walking out with this cake, and he comes up to the table where Kelly was sitting, and he just sconed him right on the ball dome, like big cream, like proper cream cake with candles and everything, straight on the top of the head, man. And like, I think, I'm pretty sure me and Bradley were like started pissing ourselves, but like no one else did. There was heaps of French people there, and like they were just all shocked. And Kelly didn't even laugh either. That's my cat going chaos in the background. Kelly was just sitting there and he just sat there with a cake on his head for like, I reckon it was a good 10 minutes before he even wiped some off.
Was he
And I just,
fuming?
yeah, I think he was fuming. Taylor was just fucking cracking up,
I'd be
man. I
creasing.
remember seeing him later on and he was just, I was going, that's pretty hardcore. And he's like, fuck yeah, he's my mate. I'll do it. I'll do it. So that was it. That was that post I did.
It's world class. Yeah, get on Daz's Insta and go check it out. It's a quality post, and it's a
He
lovely
had
looking
a,
board.
he was renowned for deep single concaves, Taylor
Mm.
Knox. He had his own model there, the T Knox, and it was a deep single concave. Rode lots of round pins and deep single concaves. And if you watch him surf, he's always kind of got that crouched look where he's always in tension. And you can see he's kind of got that gammy back that's fused together as well.
Yeah,
But what a surfer.
great surfer.
Could watch
That's
him all day.
yeah, for sure. And so yeah, moving swiftly on. You was about to
Moving
say,
right along. Did you watch Snapper? I think everyone's predictions kind of come true. I thought most people figured there was
oh,
a few culprits that would win it, and Sammy Pupo was one of them.
I
And I
think
won't say he did it in his stride, but he won it quite comfortably, didn't he?
yeah, he looked the best surfer. To be fair, my predictions didn't do very well. I predicted Kalohe, who lost first round, idiot. But Sierra Kerr done well. She lost to the goat. In a
And I
men's
thought
heat.
I thought Jacko Baker, and he got smoked, and so did Macy.
Yeah,
But it was small snapper. It wasn't as exciting as what it
no.
could be. I mean, it wasn't bad, was it? But it wasn't heart thumping,
I
was it?
I kind of found it a bit difficult to watch after a couple of days where it was just a bit like I was. Do you know what? I was unimpressed by the amount of innovation. It was
Yeah, I was going to say that.
it was really
It's a hard thing because look, continue.
yeah. No, I was going to say I really understand why. Like it was essentially I think Sammy Pupo won it because he didn't make any mistakes but he didn't really take many risks, and I didn't think anyone was taking risks.
Length of ride, mate. They just because it's a point break. Because
Yeah,
it's a point break, they kind of get pigeoned in. Where can you score one big maneuver or air? Emo Kalani DeVault got a big score for an incredible tail grind lip maneuver, which I thought that was good because he
yeah,
did two maneuvers and he got a high score. But it was an amazing turn. When they slowed it down, it was amazing.
yeah. I thought there was that one, and there was one other. There was I think it was maybe Silvana Lima in the women's where she got a two-turn combo eight, and it was like standout because she actually looked like she was surfing way more aggressively than any other person that I'd seen, and I was kind of like, that's better. But I did watch it. I thought it was good, like, but it wasn't really. It didn't grip me too much because I'm like, someone do something different.
Or you saw actual good snapper or really good
Oh
snapper
yeah, yeah.
less than a week before with about 10, 15 videos of it going off. And it was just a letdown.
And videos of Oki dropping in on Kelly,
Yeah,
heavy
all
dropping
right.
as
I kind
well,
of briefly saw that. Do you reckon that
heavy
was,
dropping.
do you reckon it was jovial? I
Maybe
reckon
at
Kelly would have
first,
taken that like the cake on the head.
yeah, because Oki fully like fully fades him. It looks
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
like it could have been pretty gnarly, like dangerous, but
So snapper's one of those breaks in the world, Matt, which is it's like pipeline, man, with a
pecking
pecking
order.
order, except you got 20 million people down the line, and it's for like ever since I can remember, even when I went there as a kid, there were owners. They used to call it at one stage there was three owners of Kira. It was Bruce Lee, Robert Bartholomew, and Michael Peterson. And Michael Peterson had gone schizophrenic and retired by then. And there was some quote somewhere from Bugs, I think, saying it's great because I'm one of the three part owners of Kira and one of them's retired, which
Yeah.
basically mean they could take off on it any wave they wanted. So if someone was on it, they'd take off, drop in on them. Because one was world champ and the other one was a long time enforcer there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's still that way where, like, you look at it, Ox lived there for probably 30 years now, 25 years,
Yeah.
and he's world champ and all-time living legend. Maybe he's just seen Kelly and gone, well, he knows Kelly's not going to come punch him out to start with.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Just placing his bets.
Or he's just so used to just like literally doesn't even look. If
Probably
someone,
didn't.
he doesn't care. He's kind of like, if they should know where I am rather than me knowing where they are, type thing. But
Talking about Oki, what did you think of Timothy Bissou? Did you see any of his heats? Tim Bissou, he's French from
yes, yeah,
Guadeloupe.
yeah. So he's the guy who just won.
Whoa.
He won the event beforehand as well in Morocco.
Did he?
Where was it, Morocco? Because Lucas was there. I can't remember exactly where it is, but he won a European event just before, and that was the first time I'd seen him surf, and I thought he would look real strong.
Yeah, he's like a version of Oki.
Yeah, yeah, really, really strong.
Jacob Wilcox looked incredible as well.
Yeah, and I thought Jorgen Cousineau, the French guy,
Yep.
I thought he looked sharp. Like,
Oh, yeah. He's so knocking on the door, it's not funny.
yeah, I thought he looked real cool.
Really consistent. So he made semis, I think, didn't he?
Quarters.
Quarters.
Yeah.
Pretty good points.
Yeah, if he kind of, if he can back that up in Newcastle next, and
Yep.
then one other, like if he gets another quarters or a semi, that's like, it'd be looking strong for another European.
Hey, so
And
Sierra Kerr,
yeah,
you saw like she had it in the bag, and then the goat came back, and Stephanie came back last minute and got a 9 something.
that was nuts.
Do you reckon she'll get onto the tour?
Sierra?
Yep.
Well, she's not in any of the other events. She'll have to, because she wasn't in Snapper. She won the trials.
Okay.
I think she'd have to enter the trials. But I reckon she'll be qualifying series next year. Changa's next year, and then onto tour.
So it might drift us off that comp, but that's okay, because I reckon this is an important one. I want to make a bold claim.
Yes.
Hazy. I think that if you're under 18, they should do no under 18s on the World Tour.
What, on the Challenger Series or on the World Tour?
On the potentially even the Challenger Series, unless it's their local area. Okay. Want to hear me out on that one?
Yeah, I was about to say why.
Well, you've seen and heard, obviously, Tyler Wright's opinion on growing up on the World Tour under the spotlight.
Yeah.
Another one I think is in a similar position, which you don't see it so much, because it's the code. There's wall of silence hanging over. Is Caroline Marks. Like, she went on tour how old was she? 15?
15, yeah.
She was like 6 months off tour last year for what we would suspect to be mental health issues.
Yep.
We're suspecting that, aren't we? Because no one actually confirmed it.
Well, no one said she was injured. She wasn't doing any rehab or anything like that. So, yeah, conclusions would wrap to that. And
I'm just wondering, like, I've seen, I look at these investigators, that like an investigative journalist I am, on some of their Instagrams, and I just tend to think that, like, for example, poor old Caroline, so many of her posts are beauty based as opposed to athlete based. And I'm thinking she's coming from Florida. And if you see similar shots of all like their friends, I mean, not just her and athletes, I don't think they're ready for that world impact. Mm-hmm. I don't, like, there's 1 out of 50 that's going to make it, right?
Yep.
Under 18.
Hmm.
Right? And of those 1 out of 50s that make it, how many are going to get through and then have a happy, healthy, like afterlife? So if you go on tour when you're 15, you make it, you spend 15 years on tour, you're
Hmm.
30, right? You've still got 30 to 35 years of professional life ahead of you.
So,
Obviously, not if
so
you're
let me.
rich, but what are you going to do with the rest of your life? It just screws them mentally, man. And
I
they're
think
kids.
I think it's a real good point, and I wanted to ask. This is like on the along the exact same lines, but it ties into it. Is as in where does the parents like where does the responsibility lie? So, for example, just like a random example, if you're under 18 in the UK and you inherit money, yeah, like you inherit 5 grand, you're
Yep.
not allowed the money until you're 18. It has to go into a bank account in your name and it is only released when you're 18. Okay.
Yep.
Because of, you don't want to give a 14-year-old 5 grand. So, and that lies with a decision made by an adult. So, like, for example, do you think Katie Simmers had better parental guidance and maybe managerial guidance as well than Caroline Marks?
Potentially, yeah. But now Katie's on tour, man. And let's see how it rolls out in 2 or 3 years' time because she's still only
Yeah,
17, isn't she?
she is. Yeah,
She's 17, right? She's kind of a kid. When you see not even kind of a kid, she's a kid. When you see her surfing, she
yeah,
lacks, for example, a bit of the power that the older women have, which is normal. It's like a 17-year-old kid against a 22-year-old man.
yeah.
And I kind of tend to think she's been a bit overscored over the last couple of years because the media, WSL, are no different. They're media sluts, or that's misogynic media.
That's
Media.
no, a guy can be a slut as well as a girl can be a
Okay,
slut.
good, thanks.
So
Yeah, he can, can't he? You know what I mean?
yeah,
They're happy to have Katie in there because it's a child prodigy for them. It's push, 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 push.
well, plus
Katie,
they
Katie,
can't.
Katie, 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 Katie. And what if she's
Yeah,
a little bit of an introvert? So maybe that'll help her because she's an introvert. But what if shit that rolls over her too?
mm. Yeah. See, I think with Katie, she seems to me like she's got a better head on her shoulders, but also like she chills with her brother quite a lot, and I think she's got a bit of a tighter unit. But it could come down to that because
The
the other
marks
thing,
would look pretty similar, except
yeah,
I'd seen a picture of a mum there on the Instagram too, and it was all shiny, looked like all shiny fake lips and makeup and everything.
mm.
I could be
Yeah,
right, but right up that seems
but
very
I
American
do
to
think
me.
there's a completely valid point in that because of you know like even Gabby, he look at what happened to him. We all know it's happened.
Yes,
He got divorced. He fell out of his stepdad. His stepdad could do no wrong. Then he fell out of his stepdad, fell out of his mum, re-engaged with his real dad, got divorced. Like you tell me that that isn't a prolonged effect from the fact that he was on the tour and he missed his child, like missed like his late teen years. Then I would say that
Oki, mate. Oki, we were
yeah,
just
yeah,
talking about it.
Oki
He
went
was washed
mental.
up, man,
Yeah,
at 22, 23.
and the
I
goat.
saw him. I was in an Australian life-saving titles in Cronulla when I was 16. I was in grade 12 and we were down there and we actually had a big night out too. My parents were down there too. We were staying at Tent City and I was out front of this bar nightclub, which I probably shouldn't have been. I was inside as well at 16, 17, as you do.
Well played.
Oki walks down the street and I was just like, this dude, he looked like a homeless dude with long hair, and he stopped, and the crew were talking to him, and you couldn't understand him. And he'd been in a fight, and he had all blood on his shirt and everything. And he came back, but he was like child star too on the world tour at 17. Now, as a 17-year-old traveling the world without parental guidance, in and out of nightclubs, like it's kind of funny for some people, but like history has showed us that not many get
100%.
through.
And even Kelly had to have a break. Like, Steph Gilmore said she was actually the year of COVID, she was taking a break off of tour. It catches up with you, it could catch up with you quicker or longer, but I do think there's a completely valid point. to it.
We don't let our kids go off to uni until they're 17,
Yeah,
18.
and I think I said it. I think I said it in a few episodes, like way back, a few episodes. But like, there's a gap between winning a World Juniors and then like you win the World Juniors, like who won it, WSL or whatever, and then he got put into a. He goes on to the Challenger Series now, and he looks like he looks like he lacks like a bit like what you said about Katie, lacks the power, lacks the experience and stuff. And maybe you should be saying to these kids, like, yeah,
No, but there
now,
should be a law.
yeah,
And that way it gives them, that way the parents who are, the dangerous parents, they don't have that crack.
yeah, yeah.
Huh? Kids,
I
it's
think
still
it's
the kid's 18, and then the kid's an adult. He can do legally, can kind of, he's not really a full adult at 18 either, but he's got some sort of legal say in the thing.
yeah, and I think like there's a responsibility of care from managers, from brands, and from parents, basically, and then the competitions. You know, I completely think there's a valid argument for it. I don't think it's a bold claim. We can add it to the bold claim spreadsheet, but I think it's
It
a
is on the bold claim spreadsheet, mate.
yeah,
Like
but I think
soccer
it's a
kids get
fair one.
taken out of school. Soccer kids get taken out of their school and they go into special soccer schools and everything. But that's a little bit different because they're just surrounded by like
Yeah,
teachers and
but
coaches.
they are shielded as well. Like a lot of them, like my friend got into like elite football club and stuff, and you know he was stopped playing all other football to because of burnout and all that. Like he was told he couldn't play football on the playground with us while he was signed for this professional club because of burnout and because of injuries and stuff like that. And which is pretty heavy to tell a kid, but at the
You
same
can't go
time,
play with your mates.
yeah, yeah. But so I think it's a valid bold claim, not a
There's
wild
these
bold
two.
claim.
There's these two young French. They were. I won't name them, but they were two young French sort of kid stars, and now they're 19. But they've been globetrotting since they were 13, and now they're
Yeah,
19. I'm telling you, they're not on the Challenger Series. They're
no,
nowhere near it.
yeah, yeah. And you have to think like, is there a full reason for it? You know, get some more life experience.
Too much too young, because I read an article or half of an article on Ace Buchanan the other day. Now, he was trapped in school, and old man wouldn't let him go to the World Juniors somewhere because he had his high school exams. Got
Yeah,
93 out of 100. Was only allowed to surf after school
yeah.
at night, like half-hour sessions,
Talk,
not
talk.
homeschooled, half-hour sessions.
Yeah,
And on Saturday afternoons and Sundays, made the world tour. Because by the time he got there, 18, he was fully hungry and he had the talent, and he'd been protected from the burnout because he was doing like normal kid things,
yeah,
which is learning to read and write.
yeah. And now he's the surfer representative, or he was for a long, long time as well. So
Well, just bash me with my Bible, Matt.
that's it.
Have you got any local issues before we delve into some incredibly interesting do's and don'ts?
Local issue is absolutely not. There's no surf here, so that my only local issue is the waves.
It's just haggis too, man. I think it's really playing havoc on us Europeans. We're having this early spring rain attack with full
Yeah.
frontal storms.
So I managed to I on Sunday I hadn't surfed for too long. Like it was like 10 days since my last surf, and I was just like, nope. So I'd done the 4 hour drive, like the Dorney 4 hour drive, surfed in Cornwall, scored real good, like 3 foot, 3, 4 foot, super farm waves, riding my Alba Mason again. Got that all day and then drove back yesterday. So I have filled the meter as such, but that wasn't locally. It did take 8 hours of driving in a day just to do
Oh,
it.
it's just a
That's a
mission, isn't
That's
it?
core, isn't it? That is lordish. But
I ran down the beach the other day and pushed my son into waves that he was at his surf club lessons, and there was only one instructor, and there were 7 of them. And it was onshore, 4 foot, windy, and I saw this. The coach was struggling, and Marlo was the smallest, so I thought, oh, he could use a bit of help from Dad, and he let me do it actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think we should have a full pool
Yes, we will. Yeah.
a pool review, and not just which we can delve into other factors of the pool as well, because I got mixed emotions with the pool.
Me too.
I honestly think I've said it before. I honestly think it's a great barometer or
Yeah.
measure of talent,
Mm-hmm.
but you need a good couple, I don't know, whiskeys or whatever tickles your fancy to get through watching the same wave surfed over and over again.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't you?
Yeah. We'll do it.
It's
We'll do a full
nearly,
episode on it for sure.
as good as it is, it's nearly pathetic.
It's like literally on a kilter, isn't it? It could go amazing to the worst thing you've ever watched within a flick of the switch.
I was wondering if surely they got 3 or 4 settings.
Yeah, they
Now,
do. Yeah, they have.
I reckon they should just put on a different setting each time without telling the dudes. Like nearly like, they spin the bottle.
Yeah.
Huh? Spin the bottle. And the surfers have to have 2 different boards
Yeah.
there. And the guy in the starting rack, like with the horses,
Yeah.
right before they walk down the beach, flips a coin and goes, that's the one you have to ride. So that
Yeah.
way they're not riding the board they thought they have to, and then they're not surfing the wave. They don't know which wave they're going to surf. And then at least that part can be different.
Yeah. It'll
But they're
be
not going to do that, are they?
no. They should do. There's a show here called um Wipeout.
Survivor.
It's Wipeout, and you have to like jump over an obstacle course and stuff like that. It's all water based, and then they should have to do that and then do the pool after. Like, so you do that and then get to the wave.
Yeah,
Or
that used to be. We had one like that when I grew up. It
yeah,
was called "It's a Knockout." I
yeah,
reckon
that's
some
it.
of
Yeah,
these people must have just been ended up in physio for the rest of their life. Up on a
probably.
big thing with water and a big thing whacks you in the head sideways.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you know what?
I,
What about do's and don'ts? Because
I told you my don'ts before. Don't let your board.
yeah,
Don't leave the factory without checking the fins.
yeah. What about do?
Do a second sport. Oh, we'll get to it. I went bouldering this morning, Matt.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's a new bouldering
That looks really fun.
in Hossegor. I've
Mm.
never done it. I always wanted to do it. I watched Free Solo maybe
Yeah,
4 or 5 years ago. Favorite ever movie already. And then on the weekend, I watched The Alpinist. See if you can watch that, listeners. The Alpinist, this Canadian climber who ended up dying, but incredible. So
yeah.
I went bouldering, and I'm telling you, I was so excited doing it, and after it, I couldn't think of anything.
That's so cool. That's really cool. Do you know what? Funnily enough, that's
Got to get a backup sport, man.
well. So I got roped in very gently to join in the gym. We've got a local gym that's just signed up here, just opened up here, and it's like 24-hour, so you could go at any time. And it's got a big like free weight session and stuff. So it's not like gym bunnies and stuff. And I've been going now for the last 2 weeks and like loving it. And it actually for like the weirdest thing is like you go in there and you forget about surfing, and it feels cool even
Does,
just for an
man,
hour.
adrenaline.
So I'd jump on your do for that for sure, 100%. And for a don't, oh, it's hard. I haven't been surfing enough to come up with them.
That's why you got to have the backup sport, man,
Yeah,
because no matter what happens, we're always going to have dogger time.
definitely. But my don't would be if you go on a trip, like if it's a day trip or a 2-day trip or a week
I thought
trip.
you meant like an acid trip.
No, no. I
which
mean, you could do
we're
that as
not
well.
recommending either, listeners.
No, but if
Because
you
you got
if
a
you
big
do
festival.
if you do a surf trip for a day or for 2 days or for however long, like don't not get in. Like if you think it looks a bit shitty, if you think you're tired, get in because
Oh, if you're
that
on a
one,
surf trip, you
yeah,
have
because
to.
that one time you don't get in, you're on your plane back, you're on your drive back, something, you're
You
sitting there
miss the.
thinking, I wish I got in. So that's the story of my life where it's been flat at the moment. I'm reliving and thinking about all of the last times I went surfing and all the times I was in Portugal. And luckily for me, I had people around me like Harry and Pat and Logan and Callum who literally like non-stop, let's go surf, let's go surf, let's go surf. And there was times where I was like, leave it out, I'm so tired. But I forced myself and I would have regretted it if I didn't. So that's my one.
You'd think we're like just the softest, sappiest, most useless sports men and women in the world, surfers. We're
I know,
just as soft as Jello, mate.
pretty much.
All it takes is like 21 days of rain and onshore to just put us down,
Then just go
put us
crazy.
down into we're digging the
Yeah.
grave. We're digging the
Yeah.
grave. I'm
Right.
going bowling in the morning. Crack on.
I'm going to the gym now. It's 9 o'clock at night and I'm going to the
Oh,
gym.
really?
Yeah,
Have you
boy.
had dinner?
Yeah, had dinner. About to go and walk the
Going to the
dog.
gym on a full tummy.
Well, I had dinner at like 7, so it's been like an hour and a half. Gonna walk the dog, get a blood pumping, gym for an hour.
Well, say good day to Jim from me.
Will do.
Au revoir.
He's a good guy.
Au
Au
revoir.
revoir, Daz.